All right, man. So I really want, once again, I just want to say thank you for taking the time. I think this is really exciting. Number one, to see the new book that's out there, CJ and his Magic Socks, but then just to see that it's a series. So like this is the fourth book in that series. I want you to kind of take me back to the start of it.
Mhm.
Obviously that being CJ's big dream. Like where did the thought of that come from?
So the thought was, I just wanted to continue to inspire kids and tell my story. And honestly, I was just sitting on the couch one day, and I said, "How can I continue to tell my story, and inspire kids?" And I said, something popped in my head about reading books or creating books, and I said, that's a great idea. Kids need to read, and that's a great way to tell a story is through a book. And so I reached out to one of my coaches who I knew was an author, and he introduced me to a lady named Tamika Newhouse, and that's kind of how the ball started, how the first book came about. It took me about 6 months to really get the ideas from my head to paper, and then kind of that's the first project is a complete story of CJ and his dream of getting to the NBA.
Okay. So obviously that kind of it really mirrors your life. And
Yeah, yeah, these are all true stories. Kids ask me that all the time. So yeah, they're all true stories. Everything that happened in my life, I never wanted to tell a fabricated story. So I wanted to tell something that is true, that some people can relate to, and something that I experienced, and I know maybe other kids can experience or are experiencing also.
right. I think it's dope. Number one, just to have the series because it's so much going on with our kids.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Obviously, trying to keep them educated and keep them, into school and reading and
Right.
that sort of thing. So it's good to see somebody of your stature and on your level that's really pushing that and promoting that. Like
Yeah.
coming into the NBA, for those who don't know that you obviously were in the NBA and you played for so many of like the hugest teams out there. Like, was this kind of your thought process coming into the NBA? Like, did you kind of have it all lined up as far as what you wanted to do, or
No, not at all. I just kind of played it by ear and went year by year because I went undrafted. So nothing for me was ever kind of guaranteed in life.
right,
So like I said, I went year by year of knowing what to do, what not to do, and then just kind of finding my lane and kind of perfecting that role as a bench player. So, but yeah, being an author was not in the plans. Like I said, it just happened when I was retired, and I wanted to tell my story and just be a voice for the people and just kind of show kids the right way to do things.
right? Um, as far as the series, talk a little bit more about the series. Obviously you gave us really the synopsis of CJ's big dream, but then how does
Mhm.
that transition to each new book now with this being the fourth?
Right. So each book has each is a different theme. So they're all different. So CJ's Big Dream, which is the first one, talks about mostly about basketball, how CJ grew up in a inner city poverty neighborhood, but went to a private school, which is in a crazy rich area. So those different aspects of doing the going from one area to the next area and going back to one area. So just going in that route, and then obviously getting to the NBA, which is his dream. And the second book is CJ's Big Project, which is about education. My parents were real strict on education. That's why I kind of love education and kind of had a plan B when I was done. CJ failed his test, but the teacher gives him an option to redo the test and be able to play in the big game. So he gets an A on the test and can play the big game.
Okay,
The third big book is called CJ's Big Moment, which is about bullying. I feel like kids get bullied all the time. It's a thing that's common in human nature, especially as kids and even as adults, maybe also. So I'm just trying to teach kids how to handle bullies in a positive manner, besides resulting in the violence and guns and knives and all that kind of stuff that we see at schools and stuff like that. And last book that just released a couple weeks ago is CJ and his Magic Socks, which is about CJ just having the drive and determination to actually believe in himself and have confidence in himself. And he has these lucky socks, which he thinks gives him the magical powers to be good. But actually, it's not the socks; it's actually him being dedicated to the sport and practicing over and over, and trying to reach his dream also.
I think that's really dope, and especially the third book, which taps into bullying, and
Yeah,
it's crazy to think that probably a majority of us have dealt with bullies at some time or another, like going through school and whatnot. And
for sure.
obviously, going through it, you feel like you're the only person
Right.
really dealing with that. Like I think maybe for like a year, maybe a year, like through maybe junior high school, I think I dealt with one,
Yeah.
and then kind of transitioning to my son. He'll be 17 this year, but
Mhm.
when he was 11. We were actually living in Georgia, and he dealt with a bully down there.
Right.
And so, like, this is something that really can touch really just about every household.
Yeah, like I said, I think there's different themes, and everyone can pick a theme that you can kind of relate to and get some knowledge from, get some inspiration from. And like I said, I've went through all these emotions that kids are going to and probably will go through in life. Then also on the basketball side, just going through all the emotions that kids are trying to go through to get to that next step, get to that journey, that dream that they think they're going to eventually get to. And my message to them is always just have a plan B, you know, because it's only 1% of people that make it to the NBA, and it's so much harder to even stay there for 10 or 12 years. So it's always have a plan B and a backup plan so you, in case that happens, you don't get there, that you don't just waste your time, you know, just always focus on that dream. Just try go find another dream.
Absolutely. It's a perfect, like, you're a perfect example of just that.
Yeah.
You know, obviously following your dream and your passion of playing basketball, but finding something else that you can fall back on when basketball ends, because we all know that it's not gonna, you know, you obviously aren't gonna play forever. And it's just the same as like with the music industry and people that become rappers and artists. A lot of times, I mean, you have those that kind of, you know, withstand a lifetime, but for the most part, you know, a lot of them, they kind of wean off after a while. So it's like kind of having some other things to work on and become great at. And like, I think that's a really powerful example. You know, to be able to show that. Is interesting because I'm writing a book. I mean, definitely not a children's book, but the thought has crossed my mind. But like for somebody that's green to that, like, what is that like to get into, you know, obviously work as an author of children's books, and then how do you really promote those so that they sell? I mean, I know obviously, obviously there's a way, but
yeah, for sure. And I think I'm still trying to figure out how to make them sell too. So I think just using, obviously the free marketing tools like the social media, stuff like that, and word of mouth is one of the best keys, I feel like. But as far as writing, I feel like it's just kind of just taking that step and actually doing it, because a lot of people have, you know, that fear of rejection or fear of failure, and just people not taking that chance. And I think that's the biggest jump, is always just taking that chance and just going with it. I think that's my best advice to anyone, because I had the same things, like, should I do this? Will it work? And at the end of the day, I didn't really do it for the money. I just did it for just to test myself and push myself to see if I really could do it. And then also just like I said, just to get the message out there. I think that's the biggest thing. Once the message is out there, everything else will follow. You know, when God's going to put it wherever it needs to be, it's going to work out.
And clearly it's doing something if you're on number 4. So, I mean, that's, you know,
I think so.
But like, how do you market it, like, to our communities where they don't really, they like the reality is they don't necessarily push reading to our kids all the time?
Yeah, I just push it to go to schools, and I do a lot of book readings and for younger kids, and in the 4th to 5th grade. Actually did one last week. So my message to them is just keep pushing, you know, be a mentor and for them, and then also just to tell them, you know, not what they want to hear, but what they need to hear.
Absolutely. Where do you see, like, what does the future look like, you know, for you as an author, and like more children's books and that sort of thing? And kind of like a double question, like, how far do you see the CJ series going?
Maybe max maybe 3 books, maybe. I don't know. I think I have a lot more stories. I definitely have a great Black History Month story that I haven't put out yet, but I think it's a really great story that's actually true, that happened to my grandma and my aunt. So that would be I think a great one for kids, just to realize the history of Black History Month and the things that, you know, Black people went through. But I think the end goal for me for this series is maybe to turn into a cartoon, to see representation, because we don't have a lot of African American cartoons out there. I think we have a few, but not a lot. But I think something inspirational like this that can represent our culture would be, you know, definitely great for TV, YouTube, or wherever they want to put it. So
I think that's huge. Like the idea of doing a cartoon. Like, I was all ecstatic and like falling out of the chair when Dre from Outkast was doing the cartoon. I'm just like, that's just really dope. Do something like that, and for our kids to be able to see a cartoon that looks like us. And for
sure.
I think that's just dope.
Yeah, that stuff like that matters, you know, and so we can see someone in our culture that looks like us doing certain
Right.
things that really, you know, we haven't really done yet or haven't heard of people doing. So I think it's good for it to go into untapped markets.
Absolutely. Now, your foundations, you have two foundations that you're running. So talk a little bit about your foundations and what it is that you're doing.
Yeah, I just have one foundation,
Oh, just one.
just one foundation. It's called Quiet Storm Foundation.
Okay.
We started in 2009. We put on free programs each year. Like the next one coming up is a free basketball camp we do in July.
Okay.
We do that because when I was younger, my mom and dad had didn't have a lot of money, so they had to try to get us to different basketball camps, and all these camps cost money. And even now, the camps are still pretty expensive for kids and parents to bear.
Absolutely.
So we just want to put on a free basketball camp to have kids come out for 3 days and have fun. Also have a parent workshop in that basketball camp where we teach parents about NCAA rules and regulations and stuff like that. Because when I was, like I said, an NCAA athlete, my parents didn't know anything about it. They were going in, blindfolded and trying to learn on the fly. So
Right.
these parents can learn, when these kids are younger, obviously they'll be in better shape. And also we have a Black History Month essay contest we do every month, every year. When I played in the NBA, we would send kids to the city I played in, give them free tickets, free plane, hotel, actually a limo ride to the game, and we would recognize them at halftime. But now that I'm retired, we just send them we fly them to DC every year. They get to tour a couple of museums there, like the Black History Museum there. So I think it's a great thing for kids to get out and see. Like when I was young, I didn't really do any of this kind of stuff. I never went to an NBA game until I actually played in one myself. So it's different for
Wow.
me. So yeah, my parents can afford stuff like that. So like I said, it's fun for them to be able to do things like this for kids and to see the smiles on their faces and see the parents be happy for them too.
Yeah. What take me back to that experience of you never went to an NBA game until you played in one. So
uh,
what was that like to come out on the court and
yeah, it was crazy, man. Like I said, it was something that definitely worked hard for a long time coming. I thought it would happen sooner, but it didn't. But like I said, it's just. I mean, I think the emotions are kind of unexplainable. It's like someone performing a hit song on the stage, and 50 or 75,000 people just jam into it. And like I said, it's just it's a dream come true. That's all I can say.
that's really dope. Like and with your foundation, like I like how it kind of circles back to the parents and it gives them
Yeah.
like those skills and that knowledge
Right.
of rules and regulations and things. It's crazy because like my son actually for school he plays football, baseball, and basketball.
Yeah.
But like he's probably better at football. Well,
Right.
truthfully, he's probably better at baseball. But either way,
Right.
somebody was asking me like if I was putting together reels and videos and all of that stuff, like because he's looking at school and stuff now.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm like, what? Like what? It's like
Hmm.
the things that I don't know. I'm like,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
like I probably should know all of this stuff, and I probably should have been doing this stuff like 2 or 3 years ago. He's gonna be a senior now,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's like to have something that that gives you that knowledge and
Mhm.
gives you the tools that for whatever reason you just didn't pick it up. Like I
Right.
think that's really dope. And then of course it's helping the kids too because
Yeah.
we don't have those programs and
Mhm.
like the basketball camps obviously they're there but like you said they're mad expensive.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Yeah.
So it's like how does the typical kid qualify for this basketball camp or for the free basketball camp?
All you gotta do is register. Just sign your name up, sign your parents up, and you're there. Just come on every day. You got food free. Breakfast is free. You just put out some bars and fruit and stuff like that. So, like I said, it's definitely a community thing. We live off sponsors and donations and stuff like that. So,
Right.
without the community and the people that helping us out, this wouldn't be possible.
Right, man, I think that's really really amazing. This whole opportunity has been amazing. Like, number one, like I'm definitely behind anything that can get our kids to read. And
Yeah.
I've actually gone to schools and done stuff like that and whatnot. I'm not writing no books, but
Right.
um,
Never know, man. Yeah, I think you might run one soon. I think I
I
see
don't
it. I
know.
see it in you.
Well, I think after I write mine, I don't know. Who
Yeah.
knows? I mean, we never know, necessarily where life is going to take us.
Right.
So
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
there's always that option and that opportunity. But I appreciate you though, man, because
Uh,
like our culture, like we need you, like we
yeah. Yeah.
really 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 need people. And
Yeah.
I mean, you're teaching people across the spectrum. So I mean, you're teaching these kids, obviously reading skills and just life skills and
Right.
coping and stuff like that. But then you teaching parents
Yeah.
and teaching people in their careers, like how to move from one to the next if one fizzles out, or
Right.
if it's at the end of one, how to transition to another one and
Yeah.
stay relevant and busy. Like I think is really, really amazing. What other things are you working on, or do you have any other projects that you're working on right now?
Recently, not right now. I'm also an angel investor. I have a vending machine business with my wife, and like I said, just the foundation and the books for now. So just doing a little multiple things. And then on top of being a father, kids got you running around everywhere. So I'm just trying to do my part, and just stay healthy and stay
Yeah.
alive, and do the best I can while I'm here.
Now, where does the balance come in at with, obviously married, and then you got kids and you got all the other stuff that you're working on as well? Like, where does the balance come?
There is no balance when you marry and you got kids and working and doing things. It's just you do them as they come, and you put them on your calendar, and what gets done that day, if it doesn't get done that day, you put it on the calendar for the next day, and so on and so on. So I think there's no balance. You just try to figure it out and do what you can in those 24 hours.
Right. Of all the people that I have asked that question, you're the first person that just flat out said it. There is.
Yeah, that's all I can say.
And it makes perfect sense. Like I think I used to be in healthcare management, so I think of when I got into this management position, and it was like, okay, I got all this shit to do, and I got so much
right.
Everybody's like, okay, how you gonna get all that stuff done? And I'm like,
Right.
you know what? I just pick the stuff that I know just need to be done right now, and then the other it's just gonna sit there on the desk until I get to it.
That's how it works, man. Yep.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
Right.
Sure. That's 100% true.
Absolutely. Again, man, I appreciate this. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Want to keep tuned into what you're doing, and obviously the book series, and then continue to catch up with you as you release new books. Like how frequent do you put them out?
So the first year I put 2 out in the first year, and then 1 after that every year. So I usually like 1 a year. So I'm gonna try maybe pick it up maybe in the summer, start maybe working on the next one and see if it's gonna be a good idea or not.
Okay. I think this is amazing, man. I definitely want to keep up with you and everything that you have going on. I think this is good, like I said, for our culture. I appreciate you taking the time. Any type of final comments or anything?
Man, just thank you. Just appreciate it. Just go pick up the book, support it. If you like it, leave a good comment. If you don't, leave a good comment. I'll try and make it better the next time. I'm played the NBA, so I know all the good and bad, so I can take it. Nothing can scare me. So I take all good criticism, positive and negative.
you have to be in that mind state. Like if you're going to be doing anything of this nature, like you have to be able to take the good with the bad and
for sure
figure out how to improve on the back end. But your social media, QuietStorm_32.
Yep, on Instagram and Twitter, Facebook. I'm not sure what it is, but I'm on there. But everything is under CJ Watson.
Okay, and then website cjpens.com.
Yeah, that's where you can pick up the books, or you can pick them up on Amazon also.
Okay, any other type of sites or anything where people can find you at, or?
If you want to buy a vending machine, you can hit me up at mlwhealthyvending.com.
Okay, I think that's amazing, man. Vending machines. You probably the third person that said that they're into that right now.
Just some passive income, man, and maybe one day I'll pass it on to my kids if they want to, do it and be their own entrepreneur somehow.
Absolutely. No, I think that's amazing, man. Again, thank you so much. I definitely will be in touch and keep up with everything you got going on. And have an amazing day, man.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you.